Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast, the show that gives you advice on everything from hair to fashion to skincare products. We'll talk about the latest trends in makeup, hairstyles, and anti-aging remedies. And we'll cover all of the newest fashion trends. If you have an interest in or questions about the beauty and fashion trends that might work best for you, the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast has got you covered.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Betsy Scaresbrick, and I am very happy to have you guys all back here with me today. Not much has been going on in my world yet again. I just am working as a server and a bartender and just trying to make a little money, and it's been great. Not much has been going on. I started therapy a couple weeks ago. This is a plug for you to go if you've been thinking about and have the means to go see a therapist. I really, really highly recommend, because even though it's still kind of in the introductory phase, I am already feeling better than I was before. And I don't think I was feeling absolutely terribly before, but I can already see a difference in my mental health. So this is your sign that if you've been thinking about going to see a therapist or have been wanting to see a therapist and you have the means and you have a way to do so, I highly recommend. I've been having a great time. I'm super, super excited for the episode today because all of it is DIY, baby. We're making a DIY hair scrub. We're making a DIY lip scrub. And you hold on to your britches, folks, because I am going to be doing DIY patches on my denim shorts. Now, I like to think of myself as a handy person, and like a handy crafty person. And now sometimes when I think of myself as a handy crafty person, I am absolutely 100% not a handy crafty person. And other times I surprise myself. Now, all of that being said, I know there are some people out there, like Hiram, Skincare by Hiram, does not like DIY face masks. And I would have to agree with him, because for Hiram, in his opinion, he says it's a product probably from the clean beauty movement, which is a movement that's come up in recent years of people wanting to be more conscientious of what goes into their skincare products and what they're putting on their skin and what they're putting in their bodies and where things come from, which is all great. It's all absolutely excellent that people are thinking harder about what they're doing to their skin. However, with people being mindful of what they put on their skin, a lot of them associate, any chemicals or preservatives that come in skincare products, they associate them with negative effects on your skin. But what they don't realize is that there are good chemicals. So people will try to go and recreate their own products that are just plant-based and produce-based, and that's all well and good. However, here are some of the things that Hiram says we don't know about what comes from doing DIY. This applies specifically his expertise to skincare. So we don't know what environmental factors have impacted the produce we use in our DIY skincare. So we don't know what chemicals have been used to grow these, like say he used an aloe vera plant as an example. We don't know what chemicals has been used to grow this aloe vera plant. We don't know what the conditions were to bring over the aloe vera plant from whether it's across the world or across the United States. However, we don't know how we came to obtain this aloe vera. We don't know what outside environmental factors, like what sunlight, perhaps there's an internal factor that could genetically modify what is going on with the aloe vera plant. And so Hiram says that it's always safest to stick with skincare products that are made by skincare professionals. There are skincare labs and people who have trained and researched and studied and have created these products and done tons of work to give us the best ingredients with the best concentration of product for the best effects for our skin. And that's why skincare products made by professional in skincare labs are probably better for us than the clean or the natural beauty, because the ingredients in professional skincare products are better researched and better studied and better understood with their effects for our skin, including the products that have chemicals in them. Additionally, we don't know the shelf life of DIY masks. Formulated masks are designed specifically so the concentrations of the best ingredients will last as long as they can. And they have preservatives. And as Hiram says, preservatives in low concentrations can be some of the best things for your skin because they ensure that our products are getting us the best part of the best ingredients, as I mentioned before. So with that being said, I'm not going to be doing DIY skincare masks today. I think DIY products and beauty products are a fun way to be creative and use stuff in your kitchen. And while I don't know if they have any lasting positive effects, I know that I enjoy them because it's stuff that I am using. It feels less wasteful than maybe going out and buying a product. As I always say, I'm not a professional. I've researched this stuff to tell you guys, but I do not have any sort of huge, giant knowledge in the back of my brain that I know more than a professional would. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into doing a hair mask. And this is from Huda Beauty. And like I said, these products will have different effects on different people, and they'll have different ingredients that will have different effects on different people. So this is not applicable to everybody, I think, but I'm just gonna do this DIY mask and tell you how it goes for me. I've never used this mask before from Huda Beauty, and this mask claims to boost hair growth. So the ingredients in this are a deep conditioner, muscovado sugar, which I don't have, so I'm just using regular granule sugar, honey, extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil. This is called the Nourishing Sugar Scrub. And on this article, they have different recipes you can do. One is a detoxifying salt scrub. And if there's one thing we know that salt is... And I talked to Stacy about this last week. If you listened to my episode from last Friday, I talked to a hair care professional, and she said, as well as what Hiram says, putting salt on your body and in your hair is like the worst thing to do to dry your hair out. So they give a detoxifying salt scrub, and it says it detoxifies your scalp, which I believe. I remember there was a shampoo from Lush that I used every so often a few years ago that was great for detoxifying my scalp, but I realized that I ended up using more conditioner after using that salt scrub because it dried out my hair so badly. Like it was a give and a take. If you detoxify your scalp and clean it completely, it would also dry out your hair. So I would say be careful with using salt scrubs. And there's another one that's a deep cleansing lemon scrub, and it uses sea salt, lemon juice, 2 things that will completely dry out and strip your hair. And then it uses olive oil. I would never put that on my hair. I think I would not trust that for a minute. However, this last one, the Nourishing Sugar Scrub, sounds the best to me because sugar is better for both using it as an exfoliant for both your hair and your skin because sugar exfoliates your scalp and stimulates hair follicles to facilitate hair growth. It's less drying than salt, although it still can be stripping for your hair. It's important that if you're going to use sugar as an exfoliant to use it with moisturizing, sulfate-free, and paraben-free shampoo in order to maximize your utils and the benefits of an exfoliant without too many negative side effects. So that's why I prefer sugar scrubs over salt scrubs because sugar breaks down a little bit easier. The molecules are a little bit smaller and more gentle on when you use it on both your scalp and your skin in general. So that's why I'm going to be using sugar instead of doing a salt scrub. Okay, so getting started, I need 3 tablespoons of a deep conditioner, and I'm using that Amika deep conditioner. It's, where is it? The Amika deep conditioner is, it's technically a hair mask. It's like a deep conditioning mask, and it's called Soul Food, and I'm using 3 tablespoons of that. I'm just going to pump it in, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, that just looks like 2 tablespoons. I just don't want to measure it because it's going to get all over my tablespoon measure. Okay, I'm going to put a couple more. Okay. And I think probably it's best to have more actual hair product in a hair mask than natural products. Okay, this is 1 tablespoon of... Now, this calls for muscovado sugar. Muscovado sugar is found most of the time in baking to give things like cookies and cakes and candies a deeper flavor. It can also be added to savory dishes, and it's an unrefined cane sugar that contains natural molasses. But I'm just going to use what I had in my kitchen, and that is good old-fashioned regular sugar. And so it calls for 1 tablespoon of this. All right, whenever it's ready. Oh, big chunks. Oh, God. Okay. Let's crush up these. Oh, no. I just spilled it all over my desk. Oh, man. All right, well, we're just going to scoopy that into the bowl. And to be clear, guys, I have a ton of hair, so I'm probably just going to be making it. This probably makes just enough for me to use more so on the ends of my hair and using it on the scalp to exfoliate and then working its way down to use it on the ends of my hair for moisturizing. Okay, sugar is in 1 tablespoon of honey. So honey is really good for DIY stuff, especially for hair shine, because honey has both emollient and humectant properties, which makes it a great hair moisturizer. So emollients smooth the hair follicles, which add shine to dull hair, and humectants bond with water molecules, which add moisture to dry strands. So by moisturizing and locking in shine, honey can help restore the natural shine of your hair. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon of this. Oh, God, it's so slow coming out. Come on. Oh, you know what I don't have? A fork to mix this all. Okay, done with the honey. Next, we're going to use extra virgin olive oil. So it's important to use extra virgin olive oil because so it's the highest quality olive oil you can buy, and it's an unrefined oil, which means that it's not treated with chemicals, it's not treated with heat, and it has to meet very, very specific standards to receive an extra virgin stamp of approval. And extra virgin olive oil is made in a particular way that allows the oil to retain more of the olive's natural vitamins and minerals. And this goes for, we're using coconut oil next. So backing up, we're using 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, right? One tablespoon. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. So with extra virgin olive oil and with coconut oil, a lot of professionals will have differing opinions. And from the people who I've read and some who I've talked to. So some say that olive oil and coconut oil are great for your hair, while some say it just sits on top and makes your hair greasy, and others say that it just depends. And I think a lot of it comes down to the way that you use it and the ingredients that you combine it with. So we're moving on to coconut oil now, a tablespoon of coconut oil. And this is just the organic refined coconut oil that I think is like the Harris Teeter brand. So we'll slide that in there. I asked Stacy, who, again, you guys remember from last week. I asked Stacy if it was a myth that coconut oil could moisturize your hair, because I know for a while, and I've talked about this before, I know for a while that I used coconut oil as my moisturizer. And I learned that that's really actually bad for your skin because, it just sits on top of your skin, doesn't actually moisturize it in the way that people think that it does. So in a similar way to when Stacey talked last week about Pantene, about how Pantene just kind of sits on your hair like floor wax. It doesn't actually do anything beneficial. That's what coconut oil does. It makes your skin soft, but it doesn't actually hydrate. It doesn't actually moisturize. And so I asked Stacy if that was also true for your hair. If coconut oil, because I used to use coconut oil masks for for a while in like middle school and high school, and I kind of fell off of it just because I just did. And Stacy said that it's a partial truth that coconut oil is good for your hair. She says that if it's in a combination of ingredients that will break down the molecules in the oil that will actually penetrate the hair, then it's good for your hair. Otherwise, it's just, I think, same thing what some professionals are saying about olive oil is that it'll just sit on top of your hair and make your hair greasy. Okay, so we're going to mix this up and let's take a look-see here. Okay. It smells really, really good. Texture is, it's not as grainy as I expected it to be, which I think is because the sugar is probably, like I said, sugar breaks down a little bit easier than salt does. So that it still has the scrubbiness of having the sugar in there, but it definitely is not as, I think, exfoliating as a salt scrub would be. And honestly, that's probably for the best because that means that it's not going to strip my hair a crazy amount. I think, so I'm going to use this after I do the other stuff, and then I'll come back and tell you guys what I think about it. But so I think what I'm going to do is add just a little bit more sugar right before I use it. So that way I'll still get more of an exfoliating factor than I would if I just let this sit and let the sugar break down as it sits here. Okay, well, it smells delicious. And that's a truth. Okay, so I guess I'll just put this aside. Yeah, so I'm going to put this aside, and when we come back, I forgot. Okay, so Stacy says that her favorite thing to put on your hair, like a post-wash treatment, is Moroccan argan oil. And so I'm going to I have from OGX, Renewing Argan Oil of Morocco, which I think is just their version of it. And so the argan oil of Morocco helps to revive, smooth, and restore luster to damaged, dry, and coarse hair. So I'm going to add just a little teeny bit of this, probably less than half a tablespoon, and mix that in to see if maybe that is another ingredient I could add that will help to actually penetrate the shaft of my hair and actually moisturize and actually hydrate it rather than just having this product sit on top. All right, so we'll put that aside, and when we come back, I'm going to be making a DIY lip sugar scrub. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back, you guys. Before the break, we were talking about DIY masks and scrubs. And by masks, I mean like facial masks, not like the kind you wear to prevent the coronavirus. And talking about pros and cons of them. And we went through a DIY recipe from Huda Beauty. So if you missed that, go ahead, rewind like 15 minutes, listen to that. I'm going to give you guys the full rundown of my experience with that mask after I take a shower so I can, exfoliate my scalp and scrub it properly. Next, we're going to move on to some lip scrubs. And I always want to call them DIY lip masks, but that doesn't make sense. So here are some recipes I found on a random website. It's called blessedbeyondcrazy.com, and it gives you two recipes. One is just for a regular sugar lip scrub, and one is for a coffee sugar lip scrub. And I love coffee scrubs, and I know this because I've only ever owned one coffee scrub. So I guess it's kind of bold of me to say I love coffee scrubs. But the one coffee scrub I've ever used, I loved it. It was from Lush, and it was a body scrub. And I just really liked the way my skin felt after I used it. It smelled kind of funky because it wasn't just like artificial coffee grounds. They were real coffee grounds. But I really liked the effects of it, and I just haven't purchased it since. But, so that means with these two recipes, we're going to make both of them. And we've already talked, these have a lot of the same ingredients that go in your hair. So we've already talked about pros and cons of them. I will say, because it has a lot of the ingredients that also go in your hair, it kind of gives me pause to what the benefits really are, because I feel like if there are benefits to a lot of, I don't know. I feel like if there's a lot of benefits to a lot of parts of your body, how beneficial can they really be to target those different parts? So like coconut oil. Coconut oil, we know, isn't really super duper hydrating for your skin. It just it softens your skin because it sits on top, but it doesn't actually moisturize. But if it works on your hair, I don't know how well it'll work on your lips. Again, disclaimer, I'm not a professional. These are just fun scrubs that I think it would be fun to try. I'm always a proponent of trying something once. So here we go, trying a DIY lip scrub for the first time. So we're going to start off with the sugar scrub. And the first thing it calls for is 2 tablespoons of sugar. So we'll just, where's my, there it is. So we'll just, hang on, come on. I'm trying to be careful not to spill it like I spilled it for the hair scrub. Okay, 2 tablespoons sugar. Oh, another big chunk. Nice. And it says 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, liquid or olive oil. Oh, so it's, if you use coconut oil, the coconut oil can turn solid again if it's stored in a cool place. So to make it liquid again, it's really easy. You just got to get it down to room temperature, or a little higher than room temperature, and it'll liquefy right back into how it's supposed to be. Okay, so then a tablespoon. We're going to do, I'm running low on coconut oil. We're going to do half a tablespoon of coconut oil, half a tablespoon of olive oil because I'm running low on coconut oil and I don't want to, if this lip scrub doesn't go as planned. Oh, I also need it for the coconut or the coffee one. So yeah, we're going to do half a tablespoon of this, half a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay. Olive oil. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, there we go. Get that in there. Very nice. All right. Half a teaspoon of honey. And by the way, guys, you should be putting this all into a container that you can screw shut, make it an airtight container. That's what the recipe calls for. Okay, half a teaspoon, just a little bit. I'm not going to measure this out. I'm just going to do a little drop. Okay, and a few drops of your favorite essential oil. I'm going to take a pause there. I'm not going to use essential oil because something I've learned from Hiram is that we as lay people, i.e. not skincare experts, i.e. not dermatologists, i.e. not lab technicians for skincare products, we don't know the perfect amount of essential oil to put in products. So I think using peppermint oil, it says a few drops of your favorite essential oil for a lip scrub. I feel like that's going to be way potent and can actually be way more harmful to a lip scrub than beneficial. I don't think peppermint will help me more than it'll hurt me, so I'm going to leave that out. And then it calls for a few drops of vanilla. Now, I'm more of an almond extract person, so, oh my god, that just smells so good. Okay, so a few drops of vanilla. Just going to do a little dash of almond extract instead. Because not only am I more of a fan of almond, I could not find my vanilla extract. So we're going to mix that all together. Okay, yeah, this looks like it's going to be very, very sugary. I wonder if I should use a little more. Well, see, now that I'm working, ooh, sorry, that's a bad noise. Now that I'm working it in, it's becoming a little more liquid and less like clumpy sugar. Okay. Mix that all up. Nice. Okay. It smells really good. Okay. So we'll leave that. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and I'll let you know if the coconut oil does turn. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I thought the 2 tablespoons of sugar was going to make a lot more because I have it in this little ramekin right here. It made like probably the same amount as a little mini pot of Carmex or a little mini pot of Burt's Bees would make. It's a perfect amount for a sugar scrub, and you can pack that into an airtight container, and it'll be just fine. Okay, so I'll try that. I'm going to do the testing in the last segment of the show, so be sure to stick around for that. Okay, put that out of the way. Next is the coffee scrub. Okay, so for the coffee scrub, we are going to use pretty much the same ingredients according to this website. And, well, no, that's not true. So instead of doing normal sugar, we are going to use 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So let me open up this bag of brown sugar. I love the smell of brown sugar. It's kind of weird, but okay. Break that up a little bit so I can make sure that it doesn't get too clumpy. Okay, 2 tablespoons. Come on. Brown sugar. Oh my god, I'm going to make such a mess. 2 tablespoons. Come on. The thing about brown sugar, and I don't know why this is, but does anyone know why it's sticky? Why is brown sugar sticky? I wonder if it has it probably has some kind of like molasses in it, right? Let's see. Yeah, I was right. It has sugar and it has molasses. So that's why, in case you were ever wondering, that's why why brown sugar is sticky. It has molasses in it. Okay, next. Finishing off the coconut oil. So 1 to 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon. I'm going to do half tablespoon of coconut oil, half tablespoon of olive oil, because it says you can just follow the recipe as above. Boop, boop, boop. Guys, I'm making such a mess on my desk. All right, come on, need a little bit more. All right, that's as good as it's going to get for the coconut oil, that is. Okay. Oh my God, if you could see, if you could see my desk. And I can't get the coconut oil out because it has sugar stuck to it. It's starting to melt in my hands. It's all a mess. Okay, olive oil. See, this is what I mean when I say I can be both crafty and just absolutely not crafty even a little bit. Okay, wipe my hands off a little bit. So I'm just doing the same base for now, and then we add a teaspoon of coffee grounds. So I don't have any just like loose bags of coffee. I had to go in and open up a K-cup. Now, you guys can all yell at me about the environmental impacts of K-cups. I know, believe me, I know. I try to go for the ones that are biodegradable, but we went to BJ's and they just had them in bulk and I just got them. I know, I'm trying to be better about using loose grounds. Well, the thing is, at my house, I only have a Keurig. I don't have a loose coffee pot, a loose coffee ground coffee pot. You're adding a teaspoon of coffee grounds, by the way. So yeah, I know the environmental impacts of K-cups are really not great, but that's just what I got spur of the moment. So also, just to give you guys an idea of what my life is like right now, I forgot to get a container for the coffee lip scrub, and I just used the last of the coconut oil, so I'm just mixing it around in the lid. This definitely makes a lot more than the other sugar scrub because it has more. Does it even have more stuff in it? I don't know. I'm trying to mix it as best as I can on a paper towel. It smells great though. It smells like coffee and brown sugar, which makes sense because that's what's in it. But this is significantly more messy than the other one because I'm mixing it in the lid of a coconut oil jar. So, all right. I feel good. I feel good about the way I'm mixing it though. I have a paper towel underneath it, so it's not creating such a mess on my desk. Okay, that is good enough. As I say in most things, good enough. Okay. Jeez. So that got mixed. Oh, I forgot. It also calls for a few drops of vanilla. So I do put almond extract in my coffee. So I'm hoping that this is going to be kosher with a coffee lip scrub. It still smells good. I like almond coffee, so oh God. See, I tried just pouring a little bit out. You know that thing that happens when you pour and it just goes all down the side of the bottle? But like I was saying earlier, this is what I mean by I'm either super crafty or I'm super not crafty because I can't figure my stuff out. I just can't. God, I can't function today. I'm operating as best as I can. And that's all you can do. All you can do is your best. Do you guys want the ASMR for me mixing this? This is like a good ASMR. You have the crunchiness of the coffee grounds and the sugar. I can't do that. I can't do that seriously. I'm having a lot of fun with this. If anything, if the sugar scrub doesn't pan out, I'm having a lot of fun doing this for you guys. Okay. Oh, that's a lot better mix now because it had a little bit more liquid. This is definitely more of a scrub than like a... Guys, I can't believe I was going to put whatever that was on my lips because that was not, that was not good enough to scrub and hopefully have it all dissolve. Okay. Definitely looks like poop, but it smells good and I'm excited to try it out. One thing I'm excited about, I like doing coffee because coffee grounds don't really dissolve when it comes into contact with just like room temperature water or anything. You need that. Coffee grounds don't dissolve really at all, generally speaking. So coffee scrubs are a good way to exfoliate, and I mentioned them a couple episodes ago as an alternative to products with microbeads in them. So the grounds don't dissolve in water, so it makes them really good at scrubbing away dead skin cells, and it can promote healthy skin by tightening your skin from the stimulating effects of caffeine in it, which would improve blood flow and eliminate excess water. I know some people use coffee scrubs to eliminate cellulite. I personally have not tried that. When I did use my coffee scrub from Lush a few years ago, I didn't really see any effects of that nature, but I also wasn't really trying to. I was mostly using it as an exfoliant. With all exfoliants, that being said, you should really be careful because some people with more sensitive skin won't react as well to varying levels of exfoliation. So I would always say do a test patch on, like, if you're going for like your face area, do a test patch on the back of your wrist, or I never really know so on the back of your hand, if you're doing it like on your body, or on your wrist palm side, if you are going to try and do it on your face. So that's all I have for this segment. When we come back, I'm going to be trying, this is what I've been putting off for a really long time because I'm so scared I'm going to be so bad at it. I'm going to be trying a DIY patch on my shorts, and I really have no idea how that's going to go. I have absolutely no idea how that'll pan out. So if you guys are ready for that, stick around. We'll be right back, and we'll try and figure it out together. We'll see how it goes. Stick around.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. If I sound a little bit different, that is because I have changed locations. And by changed locations, I mean I am now sitting on the floor of my office. And the reason for that being is, okay, well, let's take it back. So before the break, I had done a little DIY lip scrub with you guys, a little sugar lip scrub. And we did one just normal sugar scrub, and then another one that had coffee in it. And now the reason I am sitting on the floor of my office is because I am about to attempt to do a DIY patch on my short. I'm going to move my mic over a little bit. Sorry for the noise. So I'm going to attempt to do a DIY patch on my denim shorts that have a hole in them. And they're my favorite denim shorts. Sorry about that noise, you guys. And they're my favorite denim shorts. And I got a hole in them just from general wear and tear. And so now, in order to remedy this, I have decided to take it upon myself to patch them up. So I know how to sew a little bit, but I don't think I've never attempted something of this magnitude. I've been able to sew seams back up that have popped. I've been able to kind of reattach places where there are holes in my clothes where there aren't seams, but I've never attempted to do something of this magnitude. So the first thing that I need to do is, so the hole on these shorts come from the fact that these shorts are distressed and there was a hole right above the hem on the butt part of my shorts. And I just like subconsciously tugging at them, trying to keep them from riding up. They frayed out a lot. So there's just now a giant hole. Instead of just like a cute distress mark by on my shorts, it's kind of just like a giant hole that's almost too exposing. It's more exposing than my liking. So I'm going to thread this needle. Oh my god, I should have threaded this needle before starting recording. This is going to take so long. This is always the worst part. Oh, no, I didn't do it. That's embarrassing. Alright, let's see. Let's look here. I remember I always used to be the one to thread the needle for my mom and my grandma. Ooh, got it! I was always the one to thread the needle for my mom and my grandma. And now I realize my eyesight is also getting bad. And it's tough for me to thread it. I will say I did that pretty well. I threaded that needle pretty quickly. Much more quickly than I anticipated doing so when I realized that I hadn't threaded the needle pre-recording. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, so I just threaded the needle, I'm just using white thread, and I'm going to tie the ends of my thread into my needle. Also, this is something to know, I'm not doing this with a sewing machine. I know a lot of people will do this with a sewing machine. I don't own a sewing machine, nor do I know how to use one. So, this is why I'm doing this the way that I am, in case people were wondering. My friend Carla has been doing a lot of DIY clothes recently, and I'm very jealous of her clothes making prowess. And it's interesting that I can't do a lot of this stuff because I literally worked, granted as an office assistant, but in a costume shop for 2 years. So that's embarrassing for me. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and reattach the hem a little bit. It frayed so much so that I think the next time I wore these, I would probably have bust the hem at the end just because it's becoming so frayed. And, oh god. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just doing a basic in and out. I don't know what the name for that stitch is, but I'm just basically connecting the two pieces that were literally holding together by a thread. And I wish I was better at doing stuff like this. I know I can do, like I said, I can do minor alterations. I can save things that if it's like someone's favorite piece of clothing and they just need a quick fix, I can fix it. But, you know, I've said it once before, and I'll keep saying it throughout this segment. I've never had to do an alteration of this nature before. I've never attempted either. I've cut my own jean shorts, and even that was bad. So this is going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the episode, is that sometimes I can be really crafty and cunning in that nature, and then other times I'm just hopeless. So I'm hoping this really works out well, because these are my favorite pair of denim shorts. So if I can't save these, that'll be a little bit devastating. They are from Target. They're just Wild Fable. Wild Fable is that new Target line that is coming out with all the really trendy clothes for Gen Z. Oh my god, I lost the needle. It's attached to thread. How is that possible? Okay, there it is. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is close enough. I'm going to start going outside of that one corner that I attached. So basically, to give you guys a better visual, imagine the hem of a pair of shorts and they are just split in one area. So I'm reattaching the two corners that are at the very, very bottom of the hem in hopes that I can put a cute patch there that'll cover up that hole that was very exposing, more exposing than my liking. Okay. I feel good about this. And what I'm trying to do is not attach it too tightly because these shorts are stretchy. So I want to make sure that they have some give to them so that as they stretch out, the more, you know how when you put on shorts fresh out of the wash in the dryer, they're a lot tighter, and then as you wear them, they kind of stretch out and loosen. I want to make sure I don't do anything that could negatively affect that process. These are already kind of stretched out though. I just wore them yesterday, so I'm hoping that because they're already a little bit looser and a little bit more worn, that it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going up the tear now, going from the bottom of the hem, and the tear goes all the way up, almost to the back pocket. So I'm hoping to, don't know what that is. There's a loop, I had to pull it through. Okay, things are fine. We're still doing okay, guys. I'm still just chugging along here. I'm probably going to do this maybe in and out, maybe like 2 more times. And then the tricky part is that there's a bunch of frayed edges. So I don't know where the actual true part of the fabric is that I should be hemming them into. Okay. It's helpful to look at it from the back without the frayed edges. Okay. And then I think one more. Oh, see. Remember how I said I didn't want to do anything that would screw up it stretching out? I think I'm doing that right now. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, well then we're just gonna... Okay. So I'm done kind of buffing up that hemline. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it and tie... This is probably not the proper way to cut off a seam or cut off a thread. My grandma might listen and be really mad at the way that I'm sewing. But she's the one who taught me how. And this is the way that she taught me in my memory. So, alright. And I'm just going to tie up the ends of this thread that I just cut. Okay. Just kind of reinforcing that a little bit. This is actually very therapeutic. I do like sewing. My grandma, I remember, used to always do these. It was basically like paint by number, but embroidery. And she would do like the Taj Mahal or her old house in Dallas. And it was always very beautiful, and I was always very jealous of her ability to do it so well. Okay, so now, moving on to the fun part. Now that the hem has been kind of strengthened, I'm going to go ahead and take my fabric that I'm using as a patch, and that's going to be just a cute little Carolina light blue bandana. And I'm going to cut a corner of this. And what I'm going to do is do a corner that I can fold over. So the good part about this is that it's kind of an old bandana, so it's a little bit raggedy anyway. So I don't feel bad about cutting this up. So what I'm going to do right now is I think the hole isn't that big once I strengthen up the hem. So I think what I'm just going to do is do a corner piece, a corner of this bandana, just big enough. I'm going to go bigger than I need to, just to ensure that's going to cover up everything, even if the hem, if I screw something, like I said, if I screw something up, it will still be okay and my butt won't be hanging out. Okay, so now we're going to go to wikihow.com, baby. So step 1 is get a patch that matches the fabric. Okay, well I didn't. Okay, so I can do a different patch than what matches the fabric. Nice. Next, snip away any frayed edges. Okay, got a lot of those. Okay, frayed edges. I think what I'm going to do is leave the dark blue frayed edges behind, because those, I think, will give it a cuter look. But then I'm going to cut across the horizontal. So the blue, the dark blue, are vertical threads, and the white are the horizontal threads. So I'm going to cut all of the white horizontal threads. That'll give a little more room for this patch. Okay, nice. Next. Okay, did the frayed edges. Cut the patch as needed. Done. Turn the item inside out. Nice. Alright. Okay. Done. I don't know flat surface to lay these out. Okay. Pin the patch in place. Alright. Also, guys, flat surface that I'm laying this on is just a little mini ironing board. I saw somewhere when I first Googled how to do this that it was going to be like you needed an iron-on situation. So I have the iron turned on, and it's ready to go should I need it. But I think it's, if I'm pinning it, then it should be fine, right? Okay. Find some pins in this bin. Lots of needles. No pins. Oh, there's a pin. There's 2 pins. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Nice. Okay. Pin the patch in place. Where? How do I pin it? Lay it over the hole. Insert pins through the patch and iron fabric along the edges. Okay. So I'm just going to do 4 pins on each side of the fabric. Okay, one side done. Ouch. Of course. What is sewing if you don't pin yourself a little bit? That would be sewing done by professionals. That's what that sewing is. I'm really bad at putting pins in. Do y'all remember if you ever did like corsages and stuff for homecoming or prom? Those things sucked. I hated pinning those things. And it was always so embarrassing having to get like your mom, or maybe if you brought a date, or like your date's mom, to do the corsage or the boutonniere. There was a boutonniere that would pin. And that was so embarrassing, having your mom pin your date for you. It was fine. I figured out how to do it by my last one. But, geez. Okay. Oh. Why does this have a sewing machine? Oh, I can use a needle. Thread your sewing machine or needle. Okay. I have to rethread. Okay, it looks like I don't need the iron anymore. So I turned it on, but I don't think I need it. So I'm going to turn that off before I hurt myself, because I'm very prone to burning myself. Guys, that's not on purpose. That sounds kind of bad. I'm just prone to getting burns, and I don't know, probably because of just like stupid mistakes, obviously, but yeah, that's fun fact about me, is that I'm prone to getting burns. Okay, I gotta re-thread my needle. Let's see. Okay, gotta work on threading things. Ooh! First try, baby! Right on. Okay. Alright, that was embarrassing. But I got on my first try, which is really exciting and really quick, and it's a lot better for you guys because now you won't have to hear me struggle with that, and it'd be so boring for you guys to listen to. Okay, threading it through, and right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to give myself a lot of give to probably more than I need to square or to sew the square of the patch around, just so I don't have to re-thread it. Let me see if that's the right thing to do. Okay, so I thread that, sew around the edges of the patch to secure it. Oh, so it's literally just sew it. Okay, great, I can do that. Okay, done. Cut the thread. Ouch! Pricked myself. Okay, that hurt a lot. Alright. Cut off the thread. Tie it off so that it doesn't go through the seam when I'm sewing. Okay, and on this part of the sewing, so when I was sewing the hem earlier, I wasn't trying to be super clean with it or anything because it was just me sewing the hem together, and it was in the middle of a lot of frayed threads, so people weren't going to really see it anyway. But this, to be on the safe side, I'm going to do my best to sew it really cleanly. Just because people probably will be able to see these threads. So, let's get started, huh? Okay. So starting in this bottom corner. Alright. Okay. And guys, literally what I'm doing is just a horizontal stitch the whole way across, just little dotted stitches. Easy. Okay, I've already screwed it up. It's already not looking as clean as I intended it to. But that's okay, because they're distressed shorts. They don't have to look clean and proper. I'm not going to wear them into, you know, a job interview or anything. Yeah, I'm not going to wear these into a job interview. So I think if they look distressed, then I think that's okay. Okay, trucking along. Alright. Okay, well, I feel good about where this is going. So I'm going to go to commercial, and then when we come back from commercial, I'm going to give you guys just a little rundown review of me trying out all the scrubs and me trying on these shorts with a patch on them, and we'll see what my reviews are. Okay, so stick around after this commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast, dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
All right, guys, welcome back to our final segment of the GSMC Beauty Tips podcast. So for this episode today, I did a bunch of DIY things for y'all to all try at home yourselves. First thing I did was a DIY. It was from Huda Beauty, and it was a nourishing sugar scrub that's for your hair. And it was kind of like a mixture between a mask and a scrub. It had deep conditioner, sugar, honey, extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil. Now, I was really expecting this. I don't know what I was expecting with this. I don't think I will use this again just because I mentioned before that when I do sugar scrubs, it kind of makes me feel a little bit greasier. And I don't feel, while it did, I felt like it was exfoliating my hair, I don't think it cleaned it in the way that I wanted it to. So I was expecting this to be a shampoo, do this exfoliating scrub mask thing, and then condition after. And I felt like I just had to wash my hair again. That being said, there were a lot of good ingredients in this. Like, it had the coconut oil and the olive oil. Coconut oil with your hair, the vitamins and the fatty acids in coconut oil can help nourish your scalp and can penetrate the cuticle of the hair if you use it with the correct ingredients. It can, just make sure it moisturizes your hair a little bit better, like I said. And like Stacey said, if you use the right ingredients, you can use it on your split ends for a quick fix for your frizz. You can use it as a leave-in conditioner. All of this being said, I don't think I would, like I said, I don't think I would use the scrub again just because I put it was more effort than it was worth. It was not, I don't think it did anything for my hair that I couldn't have done with products that were made specifically for the treatments I was trying to do. So like exfoliating your scalp. Amika has a great scalp exfoliant. I forget what it's called. It's like an exfoliating jelly thing that you put on your hair before you even get in the shower. I know Lush has one. I mentioned it that I used, and it did dry out my hair. But as long as you moisturize it correctly after, then you should be fine. So that was my take on the hair scrub mask thing. It just didn't do a lot for me. I would rather just do shampoo. If I need to exfoliate my hair, exfoliate my scalp, I'll use my Amika product. If I'm trying to get the gunk out of my hair, get the gunk out of my scalp, and free up my hair follicles and clean the sebum out of my scalp, I would use the Neutrogena scalp cleanser one that gets rid of all the buildup of product in your hair. That I found is really, really good. It does strip your hair because it gets rid of everything in your hair, including natural oils. So I would use that once every other week, maybe, if I felt like my scalp needed a good cleanse. In other ways to kind of, invigorate your scalp and stimulate your hair follicles for hair growth. We talked about this last week. Stacey said, brush your hair, make sure you're getting the nourishing oils from your scalp down to the roots of your hair. I think that's the best way to have a natural nourishment for your hair. And, I think that, it is what it is. That mask was fine. Wouldn't use it again, I think. Okay, moving on to the lip scrubs. Let's get my lip scrubs prepped and ready. I haven't tried them yet because I wanted to try them on air for you guys. Okay, we're going to start with the normal lip scrub. And again, I got these recipes from Blessed Beyond Crazy. So, okay, I'm going to dip my finger. This is the normal sugar scrub, not the coffee sugar scrub. And like I said, it made a decent amount. It probably made 2 tablespoons worth of product, and you're not going to need a lot because it's mostly sugar. Okay, so rub it on. Ooh, very sugary, very oily. Oh God. Okay, I feel like this is nourishing my lips and exfoliating. Yeah. Okay. I like this, I think. I've mentioned before that I don't like sugar syrups because it can leave my mouth feeling kind of sticky and gross. This I don't mind as much. I really like that I use almond extract, but that's just my own personal take. Yeah, I don't think I would do this with olive oil again. I think I would do just coconut oil, just because I can kind of taste the extra virgin olive oil in it. But my lips feel very smooth. They feel soft. I feel like I got some dead skin off. The only thing, again, with sugar scrubs is the residue. I can feel the residue on the outside part of my mouth. I feel like I do need some water, actually. But I feel like this residue on the outside of my mouth, and that can cause acne to break out around your mouth, I'm sure. Sorry, just had to get water to get that sugar away. I like this. I will probably keep it for a little bit. I don't know what the shelf life is on this. I probably won't keep it for a long time, but I like the way my lips feel after using that sugar scrub, and it tasted good. I think you could use vanilla. You could use almond. It does call for a drop of your favorite essential oil. I would not use an essential oil directly on your lips because your lips can be a very sensitive area. So I don't recommend doing that. Okay, moving on to the coffee scrub. So this one is a little bit less of an easy texture to get up. I would definitely use not nearly as much because the sugar will break down really easy the more that you rub it out. The coffee grounds will not do that. So I'm just going to apply this with my finger and exfoliate that way and then wipe off the rest. Okay. I like this one. This is not, it smells nice. I put almond in this one too. Oh, I don't like the coffee grounds getting in my mouth. That's it. That's a negative for this one. Ugh. Okay. So, yeah. Hang on, let me get water. So, yeah, with that one, I will say, if you're not careful, it'll just taste like you're eating coffee grounds. But I like that one better because I feel like it exfoliates and hydrates more than just the normal sugar scrub did. That one you just have to be a lot more careful because I don't like just shoving coffee grounds in my mouth. I don't know about you guys, but I would say I don't like to eat coffee grounds. Okay, so I think out of all of those scrubs, the coffee scrub is my favorite. Sugar scrub was nice. Wouldn't use a hair scrub again. That's that on that. My DIY shorts. So I put them on, and I was worried about these were my top two worries. Number one, my worry was I would sew it incorrectly and then I would screw up, because it's kind of a stretchy denim. So I was worried that I would screw up the stretchiness of it and make the wear look weird. I took some pictures. It puckers in a couple places where I'm wearing them right now. That's why I keep going far away, because I'm looking down at the patch that I sewed. It puckers a little bit where the fabric comes up from the patch itself. I think something that I'm going to do is go back in and do a border of hemming right around the hole where the patch is covering, because what I did is I just did the outer corners of the patch itself to try and make sure it stayed down. But I think something that could help with the puckering is just going back in and making sure that the patch is flat against the denim itself. It's very cute. My other worry, so my one worry was that I was going to screw up the stretchiness. I don't think I did that. It looks like it's fine. It fits the same. I'm very pleased with myself because it was either going to go really well or really poorly. And I think it turned out pretty well. My other worry was that I was going to run out of thread. And I realized I got nervous after my first side of 4 that I was going to run out of thread. And I was like, are you kidding? I thought I planned ahead for this, and I eyeballed it to make sure that I wouldn't run out of thread. I would rather have excess thread. And I should have just listened to my gut, because I would have had plenty of thread to make sure that my stitches were a little bit shorter and more precise rather than they kind of varied in size. And I originally said I wanted it to look clean, but it looks a little bit messy, and I'm not mad about it because, like I said, they're distressed jeans, so I think it kind of adds to that look. So all in all, I'm very surprised with myself that I did it without a hitch, or maybe a hiccup or two, but it wasn't anything major. And I'm very proud of myself because normally when like if I cut jeans into shorts, it just is a nightmare and they look terrible. So, I'm very pleased with myself, and I am very pleased that I now have a skill that I'm a little bit more confident in. So, that's all I have for you guys today. If you like listening to the episode, please like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate the reviews. And if there's anything you guys want to hear from us, please message us on Instagram, message us on Twitter, message us on Facebook. I need some ideas for what you guys want to hear from me. That's all I have. This has been the GSMC Beauty Tips Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I've been your host, Betsy Scaresbrick, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Have a good weekend.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network, from health and wellness to entertainment and life and happiness to sex and relationships. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Beauty Tips Podcast.